the interest of moving, processing, and other activities to the cloud has increased a lot over the last years. So also the need to understand more what's happening when you move the processing. So we will talk about that and the consequences of that. Agama, I'm a CTO and owner, founder of Agama. We work with monitoring video analytics. We call it video observability, where you can get the full end-to-end understanding of the video delivery. We provide these kind of solutions to all video operators. And we have a few examples here, Delta Fiber, KPN, from that kind of operators. We can assure and provide visibility from the head end and the production into the end user, so you can get the full end-to-end visibility of what's going on in the processing and delivery. That's us. So if you look at the typical, in this case, an OTT production pipeline, where you have the cloud encoding part in the center, you have your incoming channels on the left, and you have the outgoing to the right to the CDN. So this is a typical lineup. And you can see there are quite a few of different components within that workflow that actively modifies and transform the content, which will need the operator to understand what's happening in all these steps. So that is the typical lineup. So what are the benefits of going to the cloud with encoding? It will provide much smarter scaling. You can have geo redundancy. You can move your deployment anywhere in the world in an easy way. You can reduce your deployment times. You can do easy testing and staging. So you can try out new configurations, new encoding variants, etc. to improve quality and efficiency. So that is the real benefits of going to the cloud. The challenges, however, is that you will get more and more components that is farther away. You will have third parties involved that maybe want to move the blame if anything happens to another vendor or partner. So in that case, having this observability that allows you to pinpoint where in this delivery chain we have problems or not, and you can assign the accountability to the right party. Trust but verify, as we say. So if you move from the pipeline to the observability domain, you can see the same lineup. Having this end-to-end concept in your thoughts when doing observability is very important, as you have the channel source coming in that can have problems or not, so you need to assure that. And then you have each of these different steps that can actively modify the content and introduce problems, and then the delivery out to the CDN. And the main purpose of the observability is to provide comfort and trust for the operations, so they know at all times that things are good and works as it should. And if you have a problem, quickly pinpoint and make sure that you can solve the issue with the right party in an efficient way. So when ingesting content, you typically have a mezzanine stream coming in unicast or multicast. You transform it into other delivery protocol like SRT60 to get the secure delivery into the cloud, which is very important. That's if you have problem with the incoming content or the distribution into the cloud, everything will be affected. So it's very important to assure the first step in the delivery. Also from an SLA term point of view, if you source the functionality. Within the processing, you have many different points. You have the encoding of the ladder, where you create new content, in effect, with different properties. So you need to make sure that they are aligned, have the right quality, and all other integrities that needs to be in place with the different formats as Dash and HLS, different manifest types and all that, making sure that it works properly. If you have apps support, you need to make sure that you have your markers right and that they are pointed to the right frames and all that. So it's quite a complicated and technically advanced environment to be monitoring, but you need to do it in a good way. And also from a DRM perspective, as we talked about earlier, you need also to incorporate that in the quality, of course, as well, because that is also an active component in the pipeline. As a last step, before going to the end customer, you deliver it to the CDN. This is also an important part of the handover. Involves typically a third party, the CDN, and to make sure that the content is accessible, readiness to delivery, and all that. And even if you go even further to the client, you need to assure also that. So you understand that the customer application works and handles the content in a good way. But that is the right side. That. So if we back up and see the full pipeline again, we have these typical assurance points, as you can see in all steps, which is the ideal setup for an observability, where you can pull all that data and the insights into one platform and have a holistic view of the processing, quality, and the actual delivery to the end customer. So this is a really good and optimal setup for the observability. One other aspect of cloud and software in general is that they typically have a lot of configurations that needs to be exact and proper across a large set of equipment. So having automations is very important for this kind of setups, both for the actual production, but also for the monitoring as well, that you can align and make sure that you actually are observing the right things at all times. So that is a very important part. Some learnings from practice, automation, I mentioned it right now, it's very important, maybe the most important one, so you can really effectively and in an easy way try out different kind of setups. The importance of staging testing, containers, making sure that you have the technologies within the companies to actually work with those kind of technologies, quite different from managing physical hardware on site, so that needs to be handled. Making sure that you have proper network performance and an environment that really works for the task. And think of continuous monitoring, so you actually have access to not just spot the time periods, but 24/7 all the time. So you can go back and forth in time, understanding your performance and your evolution in quality. Yeah. So cloud encoding, better efficiency, more flexibility. Really nice to be able to have this view distributed for resilience. Automation, configuration, really nice. With having a 24/7 approach, you also can address problems at any time during the day or night or during the week. So it ensures that you can get more consistent performance and better end user quality in the end. So thank you.